Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Local to Me. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, and I actually have a quick shout out. I want to say happy birthday to, even the train wants to give a shout out to my director of events, Danielle Oots. It is her birthday today, so she is off doing whatever birthday thing she had planned. But I wanted to give her a quick shout out, and the train is just tooting along up there, saying happy birthday as well.
They're having fun today up there.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work because they just keep, coming through. Or I feel like they're just sitting up there, just tooting their horn every few minutes.
They saw you pull into the parking lot.
Yeah,
that's why.
They did. They were like, "This is going to be one heck of a great show." So we're going to sit up here and just toot all, our appreciation for Talk Local to Me. They're probably listening in the train as we speak.
Exactly right.
Great. So also today is Administrative Professionals Day, and I wanted to bring that up because in the past I've been an administrative professional, and I know that they do a lot for local business, and I was kind of looking up today. It started back in 1942 is when the National Secretaries Association was formed. And so they wanted to do a Administrative Professionals Day to show their appreciation for those that are helping develop businesses, because that's what they are doing, is helping to develop your business. And then it also was encouraging workers to come out and apply for jobs in that administrative professional field. And so I will give another shout out to my /administrative professional, although she's not really Autumn Meyer. She is our events assistant and membership assistant, but she's kind of our, Girl Friday, is that what you call it? Where she just does everything. So quick shout out to her. And, heck, while I'm at it, Andrea, you're doing a great job too. Membership director. I don't want her to feel left out just because, it's not her birthday. It's not Administrative Professionals Day, but, But if you're out there and you're listening, say thank you to that person behind the desk that's answering your phones and doing all your work for you and, helping keep your life straight, because I know it's much needed with some people. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there as well. And I have with me today, I'm going to be speaking I have two guests on the show. I have Allison with Prestige Kennel, and we're going to talk with her about all the services they provide. So if you're looking for doggy daycare or boarding or all kinds of things, you're going to want to listen in and find out more. And then I'm also talking with Candace from Beaver Dam Sunflower Farm. And she's been on the show with us before, but she's got some new things coming up this year, and talking about the Sunflower Festival. And then I'm going to be talking with her about what they did to help with Ukraine and just lots of great things she has going on. And it's also like agriculture. We were talking about Agriculture Week is coming up or something like that. Something to do with. I'm not going to pretend like I know because I haven't researched that, but we're gonna talk a little bit about that going forward. But I do want to also mention that our Empower event is coming up May 19th. And for those of you who are in our area, and I'm talking about anywhere in Lynchburg, surrounding counties, you want to get your ticket to this event. It's going to be May 19th. It's Thursday from 9 to 3. We have some wonderful speakers that are going to be coming out. It's a Women in Business series. So we have 4 breakout speakers that will be talking and giving some insight into just leadership and, valuing yourself, valuing your business, but also your family and how you juggle those sort of things. And then our keynote speaker is going to be Jessica Lynch, and she is the former Army prisoner of war that was rescued first female prisoner of war ever rescued out of Kuwait back during the Iraqi war. She's going to come and talk about that. And, great. $99 right now if you sign up before the end of the month. And that includes your breakfast, your lunch, your tickets, all that great stuff. After starting May 1st, the ticket price goes up to $125. So definitely want to get your tickets before the end of this week, I guess, right? It's the end of the month. Yeah. So the end of this week. And you can go to our website, cvabc.org, and request the link to get your tickets. And we'll send that over to you. But we're a little over halfway sold out already. So I'm hoping by the event, we're going to probably be close to sold out, if not sold out. So get them quickly. And then also, quick thank you to everyone who participated in our putt-putt event last night. Woody, you should have been there. It was awesome. You should have come play putt-putt.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah, I know. So it rained a little bit, which was kind of like a bummer, but then it cleared up and it was really nice. And we were able to raise, the money for the full scholarship to send a kid to a high school student to a vocational or trade school. And so we're really excited about that. And so thank you to our whole sponsors. Thank you to all the teams that came out. This was our second year and we doubled the amount of teams that came out. So that's kind of what you like to see, is an event that like takes off and it's done well. And, we had a lot of fun and we're looking forward to doing it again next year. So big thank you to everybody who showed up for that. So. And then, Woody, I just want to say, and I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Your wife has got some beautiful paintings I've seen. What is she got those up for?
She's doing an art show for the month of May. They will be displayed in Magnolia Foods in Lynchburg on Rivermont the whole month of May. So if you go into Magnolia and you see the paintings on the wall, they are for sale. They're for sale through the Academy Center downtown. So feel free. She's very talented and beautiful and just does a wonderful job.
Yeah, I didn't know she painted. I knew she made really pretty candles.
Yeah.
And then I
saw.
saw.
There's anything she can't really do. I think she, but those flowers because she was asking like months ago, like I have this art show and I'm kind of thinking about doing flowers. And she done a series a few years ago of flowers, and it's like my favorite thing she's ever done. So she did it again this year, but with a little different technique, like using a glass pen and some type of different ink. And it was they turned out so pretty. She's so talented. So thank you for noticing. But yeah, go to Magnolia and take a look.
No, I did. I did. I think they're really, and I don't know much about art. I'm gonna be honest. I just like look at something and think, oh, I like it or I don't like it. Like I don't see all the, some people look at it and see like all these, I don't know, things and textures. And I'm like, yeah, that's just pretty. But they were really nice. It was something I would actually want to purchase and put on like my wall or in my office, really.
She'll love hearing that.
Yeah, it's really nice. And so anyway, before we get into chatting with our guests, I do want to ask you one more question, Woody. How is the Why So Cold podcast going?
It's going great. Season 2, I have about half of the episodes written and we should start recording them soon, and it's going to be their cases are even crazier. So and the downloads are amazing for that, and so I really appreciate people actually listening and responding, and it's wonderful. So it's so encouraging. I get emails every week about it, so it's awesome. But season 2 is coming.
Okay,
it's coming soon. Don't
What's
worry.
the last one you actually recorded?
The Below murders, the one that happened in the grocery store in North Carolina.
I don't think I've listened to that one yet. I remember you talking about
it. That's my favorite. I was not going to end season 1 yet, but then that one, I don't know. It felt like when you listen to it, like it felt like, oh my gosh, this is I can't top this. And so I stopped season 1 there, and then now I'm doing obviously season. But that was a great one to end on. So listen to that one. That one's intense.
I remember you talking about it in the studio, like we were talking about it, but I don't think I actually listened to it.
It's one of the craziest stories I've ever heard that I'm surprised more people haven't heard about. Like when I was researching it and looking into cold cases, I'm like, why are people talk about this? Because it's crazy what happened. It's crazy how many people were involved, how they have not found the killer, and there were people that literally saw his face and got away. So like really listen to it and just like it's amazing to me.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to, because I've said it before. I love that podcast. I think it's great. It's one that I actually listen to like on a regular basis, although I haven't listened to that last one. But like, especially when I'm sitting at work and I'm just need something to kind of listen to while I'm working. I don't know why that's what I put on, but
true crime.
I just listen to true crime. I don't know. It kind of got me hooked. So
great.
Anyway, just thought I'd push that out there to anyone who hasn't heard of it. But it's definitely one of my favorite ones to listen to now. So there you go. I'm being nice to you today because I was mean to you when I walked in.
Thank you so much.
Woody almost didn't let me have a podcast today, people. I just thought I'd let you know.
It was I'm on the fence.
He said I'm on the fence. This may not make it
we may not make it to 12:30. So.
I feel bad for my guests. I'm so sorry. Well, it's okay because you quit listening. You don't start listening to 12:30. I don't start
listening to that is not true.
That's why I ask you questions at the beginning.
I did not communicate what I meant in a good way.
Anyway, I love that. Okay, so I'm going to I want to start out today talking with Allison at Prestige Kennel and Pet Services. And they have been a member of the CVBC now for right around a year. And I have been out there twice now. We had our coffee talk there, and I got to come out and see it when you guys joined. And I love watching like your Facebook page too when y'all post different, there's different things that y'all have going on out there. And I'm here to tell you, if y'all are looking for somewhere for boarding your dog or puppy, and my puppy needs some friends, because it's the most high anxiety pup I've ever in my life. Like, it needs friends.
We can work with that.
So just to start off, like a quick overview of Prestige Kennel, like how did y'all get it started? Where did it where did y'all kind of get the idea to do that?
Well, I think for us, part of it was a coincidence, an accident. It's crazy how life takes you in a different direction sometimes, but we saw that the place was for lease. We were coming through the pandemic. I think we're still coming through the pandemic. But it was a place that I had actually boarded one of our dogs previously, had an amazing reputation. And when we were thinking about traveling, we just felt like we were limited in the options that were available that would provide the quality of care that we want for our dogs at home. So I sent out a couple of quick text messages like, hey, who wants to open up a dog kennel? And it was like, right, that's how it starts.
That's a random text message to get on your phone.
Right. Well, what's more surprising is people were like, yes, let's do that. And so, we worked with, the previous owner in terms of how to transition, what does it look like to get started? And we've just been very, very fortunate that, Lynchburg and the surrounding area is a dog loving community. We didn't have, a book of business, so to speak, or, anything except for the facilities that we have, and relied a lot on word of mouth, social media, trying to get our name out there. And from the start, it has been all systems go. So, we do doggy daycare, we do overnight boarding, and I think one of the things that we really specialize is in making sure that we're adhering to what the owner requests. So if the owner wants their dogs to go on walks, we take them on walks. If the owner does not want their dogs to play with other dogs, then we honor that request and make sure that we're always doing exactly what our client wants, because they know their dog better than we do.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think too, like when I came out there, one of the things I was most impressed with, there were a couple of things I was very impressed with, but one of the things was just how clean your facility is. And sometimes you walk into a boarding, a place that boards animals, and it smells like animals. Like, it smells like dogs. It smells like, just animal. And, you don't get that there. We had an entire like business event there, and like nobody was like, "Oh, this is a horrible smell. I don't want to be here drinking my coffee because all I smell is animals," And so I thought that was very impressive to me. And then I know when we went around and did the tour, you were showing just how important that was to kind of keep your facility clean.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we get that feedback a lot, when people walk in and they're like, I wasn't expecting it to smell like that. We hand clean everything. And when the staff isn't engaged with dogs, if the dogs are resting, somebody's wiping something down. We also have the benefit in the building of a fresh air exchange. So when we turn that on, all of the air magically from the inside of the building gets replaced with nice, fresh, clean air from outside, which is great for the dogs. And it's also good for us, being inside and being able to, really provide fresh oxygen for the dogs and a nice place for them to be able to rest when it is time to rest.
Now, you have won this year Best Daycare and Best Boarding Facility And I'm assuming best daycare for dogs.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Right.
And I know for us, you were one of the winner recipients of our Rising Star Award.
Yes, ma'am.
For a business that has been 2 years and under, and just kind of really grown and taken off. And so, congrats on all of those things.
Thank you. It was a complete surprise. Like, we went into this and we won through the news in advance. We won best daycare and best boarding very, very early on in getting started. And, I think when you invest in your business and you have this dream, sometimes it takes a really long time for people to recognize what you're doing, how you're doing it, the consistency with which you're doing it. And, we were very, very honored with both the Rising Star and the daycare and boarding that people in the community are recognizing that we're doing a good job.
So let's start off by talking about the doggy daycare.
Sure.
How does that work? So can people come for one day a week or, multiple days? How does the doggy daycare work?
Absolutely. So you can bring your dog one day a week, once a month or once every other month. We have a lot of people that utilize it. Maybe you're having some work done on your house and, little Fluffy is just going to bark the entire time that somebody's there. And it's just, more anxiety for the dog so that, they come randomly. We have dogs that come 2 times a week, and we have dogs that come every day of the week. And we're able to customize our packages based on specifically what the owner is looking for, to make sure that we're able to meet those needs of the dog and of the client as well.
So I love the fact that on your website you actually have a daily schedule of what the dogs do. Kind of like if I took my kid to preschool, I would know. But I also know y'all take pictures and stuff and send them to don't you get the pictures for different people that bring their
so we
dogs?
post, we have a daily post every single night. And I promise you, if Facebook would let me post more than 80 pictures a night, I definitely would, because we sort through probably 150, 175 pictures a day to try to pick the best 80 that are in there. Then, of course, you're trying to make sure, because sometimes we've got 15 dogs there. Sometimes during peak season or holiday season, there may be 35 dogs there. Mm-hmm. And you never want to leave a dog out. We've learned that. So making sure that every dog is accounted for, and we try to give equal photo time to every dog, so that all of the owners can see their precious pup before they go to bed at night.
I think I was laughing the other day because one of my friends on Facebook had their pup there, and I guess she brought it on a different day than usual.
Oh,
so she wanted to make sure.
Yes, Mabel. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. So, she came to Monday group.
Yeah. So she was like, I didn't know if she'd make any friends, and then there were all these pictures of her playing with other dogs, and I thought that was the cutest thing.
Yeah.
So she made some friends. But how does doggy daycare help? So for instance, I was talking about my dog. My dog is 3 years old, and she stays at home most of the day. And I hate to say it, she's usually in her crate while we're gone. And it makes me sad because I'd love to leave her out, but I don't know. She loves to, the neighbors around us have horses and pigs, and she barks at anything. If there's a cricket hopping across she's going to bark at it. But she always tends to, what I feel is anxiety in a dog, because she's always just jumping around and nervous. And even at 3, she's still all over the place. It's crazy. So how does doggy daycare help? Does it help a dog to actually come and play with others?
Absolutely. I think the biggest opportunity is socializing your dog around other dogs, around other people, and around different environments. A lot of times dogs get worked up when you take them somewhere because it's unfamiliar for them. And when you put a dog in an unfamiliar situation, they have a tendency to act unfavorably. Mm-hmm. So when you get them used to different structure, different environment, being able to learn to share toys, the other thing we do is we do a temperament test with the dogs to make sure that it's a good fit. Not all dogs get along with other dogs. Mm-hmm. There are some dogs out there that don't get along with any dogs. And so we want to make sure that your dog would be in a group of like dogs that have, maybe they have anxiety, maybe it's the first time in a play group, or maybe they have a ton of energy,
That's her too.
and they can absolutely run around. And, you talked about, Mabel can hold her own. She is a tiny dog, with a big personality.
Mm-hmm.
So she's perfectly fine, in a yard with a lab and chasing them around. Not all small dogs are like that. So
Mm-hmm.
they may need to be in a small dog group.
Yeah.
Or you may have a big dog that, we have dogs that really just kind of like to chill and maybe watch, the other dogs play, but not actively participate. But at the end of the day, your dog is tired, and it's a great time to train your dog or reinforce behaviors at home. A lot of our clients are working individuals that, just like you, I don't want to leave the dog in a crate, but what are my other options?
Right. Yeah, I think that's so my dog is like a medium. She's like a little hound. So she's always sniffing. I mean, she's always curious, but she's so spoiled even at 3 because like we are one of those people. I probably shouldn't, but we let her. She gets on the couch because that's where she sleeps, and she likes to be on the couch. And like even when she's outside, we always laugh at her because if I'm out there and I get in my like in my chair, I have this little recliner chair I sit in outside sometimes. Well, if I leave, we'll hear her just like barking, and we'll look out the door, and she's just sitting in my chair with a little. She'll like take the towel and like
make a little bed,
make a little bed, and I'm like, the only dog I know is sitting in a reclining chair outside, so she's spoiled rotten, but she's, I hate leaving her during the day because she knows, like, she knows when we're, getting ready, and I can just see her. She's like, nope, like, don't come put me in the cage, please, 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 please. And I hate it. And while we don't have her in there like for too long, because my husband and I work, kind of different shifts, so he's home earlier than me. I think it would be really great to send her somewhere where, even if it's once a week, just so she can get some interaction with others. Now, how does that work cost wise? Are there different costs for like how many days they're there? Does it depend on whether it's a small dog or a large dog or?
Yep. So we have flat pricing. When we were looking at how we wanted to set it up, a lot of places will charge a fee. And then if you want your dog to be engaged in play groups or things like that, there's actually an additional charge. Well, we knew that there was no way that we weren't going to include a dog in a play group, that we were just going to take their dog out for 2 or 3 times a day. That's just not, we don't like that. So we do flat rate pricing, and that includes all of their outdoor activity. They spend at least, if they're boarding, they spend at least 4 hours outside engaged in a play group with a staff member. All of our play groups are 100% supervised. So they're not just out, hanging out outside. There's actually somebody out there playing fetch with them, taking pictures with them, engaging with them. 1, for safety reasons. And 2, that's what we're there for, is what you're paying us to do, is actively participate in activities with your dog.
Now, you have different, when I was out there, you have different areas, like for different dogs.
Yes.
And they're pretty big size. So they're not like you're just cooped up in this small
little
like,
run.
Yeah, it's not a run. It's what I would. I mean, it's a
play
big
yard
area.
Yeah.
Now, are those kind of dependent upon? So that's what you're talking about, putting them in different groups, go in different areas.
Yep. So depending on how many dogs we have or what the temperament groups of the dog, we can actually configure the largest play yard into 3 separate areas. And then we also have a backyard, and then we have what we call the puppy yard, which has 2 little play sets in there that the little dogs like to try to climb up the slide or slide down the slide. And then inside we have a playroom inside, and then we have a senior lounge that has a sofa in there.
I love the senior lounge.
Right. For dogs just to, hang out on the sofa, not especially for older dogs. They just want to lay on the sofa. They just want to hang out. Like, they don't want to go outside. They go outside because they have to, or because you make them. But, they're used to, their home environment is watching Netflix with their owner or CNN and just absolutely being still.
It reminds me of, like, you see some of those like memes or whatever with like the one dog, and then there's like the little yippy dog that's like dancing all over it, like pulling on its ear. Like
where did you get this other dog from?
Come play with me. And it's laying there like, leave me alone. Just want to lay here.
Yeah, we call the dogs that are in the senior lounge, they're my spirit animals. They're just hanging out. Like,
now, let's talk about boarding. because I know summer's coming up.
Summer
Vacations
is coming.
are in the works, and people are looking for places to board their dogs. And so another thing I'll mention is, because I keep saying, like, there were so many things that I loved about your kennel, is that these you don't have dogs like boarding together unless they're technically
That's correct.
like dogs
Yeah.
that come from the same family, but you have really big, nice, open, like suite type
Yeah, so all of
facilities.
our dogs are boarded in suites. We put raised beds in every single one of them, so they're not sleeping on the floor. We have a dog that just left yesterday. His mom brought him like an area rug on the bottom of the suite, so it's set up super cute. It had its own little apartment. But we do all of that. We take care of all that. You can bring bedding if you want bedding, but we have plenty of blankets and things like that to make sure that your pup is comfortable. Our dogs for overnight boarding, they are not in crates. All of the dogs are in the suites, and they are sizable suites. I mean, you can definitely have more than one dog in there, especially only if they're from the same family. Our largest suites in the back, we have somebody that brings 5 dogs. They have 3 little Chihuahuas and 2 Cavalier Spaniels, and they love it. They put the big blankets down for them, and it's like they're living their best life. It's like they think they're at the Ritz-Carlton, with their feather beds and stuff in there. But if that's how the owners want it set up, then that's what we do for them.
Now, if someone is boarding their dog, do they bring like all of their own, like their food and stuff like that as well? Do y'all provide food if they want to?
We can provide food. We encourage all of our owners to bring their own food, because sometimes dogs tend to struggle a little bit eating away from home to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that it is something that they're familiar with or they're comfortable with will help them not to have an upset stomach while they're there. And, it tastes like home, feels like home. So we encourage you to bring your own food, but everything else you do not need to bring. Bowls, leashes, we have all of that. You don't have to bring bedding. If you bring your dog and food, I promise they're going to have a great time.
And so, like, and y'all actually kind of incorporate them into the activities outdoors.
Absolutely.
So they're not just, sitting in the suite all day long.
That's right. So when you look at when we get there very early in the morning, especially in the summer before the heat, and we try to make sure dogs are engaged when it's safest to be outside, which is not when it's 90 degrees. And if you look, we do have our daycare schedule published. Anytime the daycare dogs are resting, our boarders are outside. So we do run opposite boarders and daycare, or depending on how many dogs we have, a lot of times our boarders will run with our daycare dogs, depending on energy level, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But we are very, very mindful that we want our boarders to also be tired at the end of the day, so they can get a good night's sleep. And there have been very few days that I've gone in at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night to let them out again, that they're not all sound asleep.
Now, so if someone is looking to board their pup, you guys required them to come in and do like an evaluation.
That's correct.
Ahead of time. How does that work?
So you can schedule an evaluation by calling the office. The biggest thing, the biggest reason for doing an evaluation is, one, it gives us an idea of more information about your dog prior to them coming to board with us. We want to make sure it's a good fit for us, a good fit for your dog. And you don't want that conversation to take place on the day that you're getting ready to fly out to Jamaica.
Right.
So also, it gives the dog an opportunity to spend a day with us, get to know the staff, get to know the smells of the building. We can practice going in and out of the kennels to make sure that there's no anxiety there. If there is, we can work with the owners to correct it prior to leaving. That way, when you drop off your dog, before you head out for 6-7 days, that they're good. We give tours all the time so prospective clients can see this is exactly what the place looks like. And we pretty much do that upon request. You don't have to schedule an appointment to stop by. We're there, and we're 100% transparent about what we're doing and what we have going on. Our facility is very nice. It is very clean, and it's very nice and very clean 24 hours a day. So,
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I would assume too that if you're bringing your pup, whether it's for boarding or daycare, they need to be up to date on shots and all of those things as well.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's a great time. The vets in this area are extremely busy, with pandemic puppies and, just people paying more attention to their dogs at home. The vets are extremely limited on appointments. So if you plan on traveling, we do require distemper, rabies, and bordetella, which is kennel cough, prior to doing an evaluation, coming to daycare or boarding. And you definitely, if you plan on traveling, whether you're staying with us or whether you're staying with somebody else, you need to go ahead and make that phone call and make sure that your dog is up to date. Because a lot of them are 4, 5, 6 weeks out before they can even see your dog.
Good to know, because I didn't realize that veterinarians were so backed up right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All those pandemic puppies.
Yeah. No,
Right.
I probably should call about my dog.
Right.
Now, you guys also offer and I think this is the coolest thing. Y'all have amenities that people can add on to their puppy's stay. So ice cream and
they love it.
What are some other things that they can do?
So we do we do ice cream, we do peanut butter frozen Kongs, we do nature walks outside. We're on 3 acres. So in addition to playtime outside, we can take them on one-on-one walks. Outside of the amenities, we do birthday parties. So if you follow us on Facebook, you can see we've celebrated many dogs' birthdays with us. A lot of times the owners will bring stuff or we bring stuff. We have banners and we take special pictures of them on their birthday and put them up on the website. Just anything to, kind of differentiate the pup's experience that day from any other day. But it's a hit, I'll tell you that.
Now, one of the other questions I wanted to ask is dog training. Do y'all do any of that there, or
we do not?
Y'all work with another
we do.
business?
We have. Yep, we work with 2 other trainers in the area: Susan Moon with Flat Creek, and then also Ronnie Coleman with Canine Academy. Both of them do full-time dog training. And so we're able to partner with the 2 of them. We do boarding for them, and then we refer out training to those 2 partners.
I need to check with one of them because I want to find out, is 3 years old too late to get training in?
No, it's not. That's the interesting thing. Following their Facebook pages as well and watching some of the things that they can do. There's puppy classes, and then they have, adult, training things. And one of the things we've learned is 9 times out of 10, it's not a dog problem. It's an owner problem or a human problem. And so it's correcting your personal behavior to be able to better communicate with your dog and get your dog to do what you want it to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. I'm just go lay down.
Yeah.
She just looks at me like, no.
Yeah. Well, we got both of our dogs trained. And it was definitely me. It was me.
Well, my family laughs because anytime that I come in the room, I mean, that dog goes crazy. And I don't know. And the funny thing is I'm not the animal person in the house. I'm not the animal lover. Now I do love Maddie. That's our dog. For some reason, when our pup that we had before her, we had for 13 years. And then when she passed away, I was like, no more dog. We're not doing anything. Cause I hated having to worry about scheduling vacation and having to board a pup. And it was always we have to be home by a certain time so she's not crated too long and, things like that. And I was like, I'm just not getting another dog. And then my oldest daughter one day was like, oh, they've got these cute little puppies at the, Humane Society. And I was like, I don't want to go look at them. Somehow she got me over there. And I just fell in love with Maddie and surprised my husband because he was like, I didn't think that would happen. But she does. She jumps all over the place when I'm around. Most of the time, she's pretty calm. But if I come in the room, it's she's hopping all over me, and it's crazy. So
you're her person.
I guess, but I don't know if it's just anxiety. She's got to. I don't know. It's crazy.
She loves
I need to have I need to have her trained though, because she does. She's just all over the place.
Yeah, they can definitely. I think dogs jumping up is probably the number one thing people work with a trainer to correct.
Well, that, and also, one of the things I also worry about is like when we let her outside, we have a lot of room because we have where we live, we're out in the country, but like I don't necessarily want her off of her run because she's not trained enough to come back. You know what I mean?
So
Like I worry about her leaving and not coming back, or it's something happened into her, and that would just,
or she sees something, rabbit takes off. And
yes, with her being a hound dog, that's a big
right.
thing.
Yes.
Oh man, she walks out the door and sees a rabbit. I mean, she is boom on it. So anyway.
Our dog, it's a squirrel. If she sees a squirrel, it's like, I want that squirrel.
Yep. Yeah. I if I let her go, it would not shock me if she actually caught something, but I don't let her. She's probably like, darn it, let me loose. I want to get that squirrel. I always joke. I always say the bunnies are like taunting her because they're like right out of reach.
Yes.
And they just sit there and she's like, rabbits are taunting me. So anyway, well, if anyone is interested in daycare or boarding, how would they get a hold of you guys?
So you can go out to our website. It's prestigekennel.com. There's a contact us form. We're also available for email, which is info@prestigekennel.com, or you can call the office directly, which is 434-608-1122.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Thank you for having me.
And for anyone listening, definitely get your dogs to the vet and get with them early. So if you want to come in and do an evaluation to have your pet boarded for the summer, you can definitely, get in time because they do book up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion because I haven't been to every kennel in the world, but I know I have been into Prestige, and it is a very nice, well-run, clean, and the staff is really nice and friendly. Everyone that I have met there, at least, has been wonderful. So
thank you.
I can highly recommend them.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to talk to Miss Candace.
Hi.
So thank you for coming back on with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So tell us what's going on at the farm. What's been happening?
We are getting ready for our 7th Sunflower Festival in September. At the moment, we have kind of collected all of our vendors, our craft and food vendors that have applied for this year, and they will be notified May 1st of acceptance. And then we can start the process of, getting them ready for the festival. We have over 120 handmade crafters this year.
Oh, wow.
Which is up from years past, which is great. We've got lots of different food vendors as well. And that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. We've been doing a lot of renovations to our barn so we can have and offer more events throughout the festival and then throughout the year as well. So that's kind of taken a lot of time, but things will look a little different this year when people arrive to the fields. So I love the fact that what do they call it? Is it like you jury the different vendors that come in? Yes.
I really like that idea. We do Bedford Centerfest, and we have the issue where we get so many that do the same things, and we try and keep it. Now, because ours runs like 6 blocks, we can afford to put like some people in different areas, and you hate to turn people away, but it is nice to know that you're not going to have a bunch of people there with the same items, so that when people are attending, they know they're going to see unique and, handcrafted things from the vendors. Yeah,
exactly. And that's something that we do only accept handmade, which kind of ties it back into the farm. And then, like you mentioned, we go through each application because we don't want, 7 soap vendors. So jewelry is kind of different because jewelry is such, a wide range.
Right.
But we do look at all, they submit photos, so we go through all the photos. We require things like they have to have a Facebook page in order to vend with us because we work together as a team and as a family. So when we post something to our Facebook page, we like them to share it, and we like to tag them. We have a lot of visitors on our page, and so we like to just go back and forth with social media. So it's important that they have a Facebook page. And then there's certain things that, we look at. There's some vendors that might be alike but have different products within their family of products. So we'll say, this vendor's bringing this, but we'd like you to participate and bring only, this. So that way they can still participate, but they're not overlapping their products.
Right. We do that. We try and do that, especially with food trucks, because we have a lot of food trucks that I feel like everyone's like, oh, we do barbecue and then we do this and this and this. And I'm like, well, we can't have like 6 barbecue vendors because we want, we just like I'm sure you do, you want all of the vendors who are participating to make money because that's why they're there.
Absolutely.
And, you have to tell some people it's just like not going to be a great fit this year. But, yeah. Now you guys are going to have more bands this year than you have in the past.
Yes. So recently, or in the past, I guess, we've kind of stuck to the ones that are in, Botetourt County or close. And this year we decided, we had a lot of other bands reaching out to us. So we kind of opened the schedule up and started accepting more. So we do have 5 different bands that are coming this year. And thanks to you, one of them is Common Ground.
Yay!
So
I love them.
They played when I was on the podcast with you last time. And I did too. I couldn't sit still while they were here playing. So they're coming. We've got Carson Hill, which is our farthest. She's from Tennessee.
Okay.
Coming in, and she sounds amazing. And then we still have our locals as well. So.
That's awesome. I love, and that's when, we do our Battle of the Bands, which is why Common Ground was on when you came on last time. And I love having these local bands that, a lot of people haven't heard of. They're not the ones that are, charging a ton for their, I get some and I'm like, can you come play for an hour? They're like, yeah, it's like $2,000. I'm like, really?
Right.
What? No. I mean, I may just have to play music off of a radio. I don't know. But, but seeing some of these, like the young and local talent that we have, like we're already accepting bands for this year's Battle of the Bands. And some of the ones that we've gotten in have been it's been really great to hear. And I love how you guys do that too. You support the local bands in the area.
We definitely try. And for Sundays this year, speaking of local, we're contacting all the local, like 18 and under musicians. So we have one ukulele group out of Roanoke. There's like 70 of these kids, I believe, which I can't imagine 70 ukuleleists playing in the field of sunflowers. It just, I think it's going to be so beautiful. But, then we just have local singers in the elementary schools that, this girl sings and her friend plays the guitar. So they're coming on Sundays this year, along with our cloggers that have been there in the past. So
now you say they're coming on Sundays. Do y'all, outside of the festival, like do y'all have other
So the two Saturdays of the festival, the bands will be there, and then the two Sundays, the young artists.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was saying. I was like, wait, we can come more often than just then. I'm like, I'm gonna come play in the sunflowers. Now, how long, I know we've talked about this before, how long does it take for the sunflowers to grow? How do you have to plant those to make sure that they're up and ready for the festival?
Right. So I usually look at the calendar and say the second and third weekend in September is when we always want to hold the event. And so then I'll just count backwards until I get to 8 weeks. They normally bloom right at 8 weeks. So then I find out in July when we need to plant so they would bloom on those weekends in September. And we've learned that if we plant on a Wednesday, come 8 weeks in September, they'll be opening by Friday and Saturday for the event. So the only thing that kind of alters our planting is if it rains, which is why, everybody says, well, what are the dates? And I say, well, we can't really tell you till September, but this is what we shoot for. Because if we go to plant and it's raining the whole week, it's just too muddy and we can't do it. So,
right.
But knock on wood, we've had good luck with that in the past. So,
well, I know last year was the first time I had made it out to the festival, and those sunflowers were gorgeous. I mean, I got some really pretty pictures, and I love how you have the different areas staged where you can do selfies or pictures. Yeah, the photo booths throughout the sunflowers. I think that was really neat, and I was able to like create some really cool memories from that. Now y'all also have like wagon rides and a kids area.
We do
those sort of things so it's very family friendly, I will say.
Absolutely.
You definitely want to, bring your kids out. My daughter loved seeing the different, the flowers, and, I think I spent a lot of money because she kept finding things at like every vendor she wanted to buy. I was like, great. But you also were the winner of the Gauntlet last year,
Yes.
and they just finished up for
They
this
finished
year.
up, and the award ceremony is, I believe, May 25th.
Have you had anything to
So-
do with that this year?
This year, I helped as an advisor, which was like a new role that they created this year, just to kind of have more people working directly with the ones going through the competition. So I helped in that capacity throughout the event and
Very
mentored
cool.
a little bit.
So I think, one of the things I love is seeing businesses like yours, they continue to grow. And so you actually are making products now with your sunflowers so people can purchase, they can purchase the seeds, right? But you're also doing lip balm.
Correct. So we haven't launched it yet. But one of the things through the Gauntlet exposed me to a class that Old Dominion University puts on for entrepreneurs. And so I was able to go through that, and they help with new product development. So I was able to borrow a press, a seed press from somebody else that once again was helping with the Gauntlet, and learned how to press our sunflower seeds into oil. And originally the new product idea was selling the oil to restaurants. Until I realized how many seeds it takes to produce like the littlest amount of oil. And it would have been great to give, for restaurants to use, but it wouldn't have that big of like a community impact. Not many people would have seen it. It would have been in their food versus them buying it on a shelf. So then I learned that we could use the oil in lip balm. So I got a recipe and put our oil in versus, another type. And so there's only 4 products in the balm, one of them being our local oil. And we've there's a non-scented and then there's different scents. We have 5 right now, but they all tie back into the farm. So they're all funny farm related themes.
Okay.
Like for instance, I found one that smells like bourbon, and the name of the chapstick is Cow Tipping and Moonshine Sipping.
That's cool. Cow tipping.
But anyway, they all kind of tie back into the farm. So it's been a fun project, and we should have them on the website next month, and then we'll have them at the festival as well.
Okay, cool. Now, if someone wants to, where do you have like your seeds at? Like if someone's looking to purchase the actual sunflower seeds, do you have them in stores or places outside of the farm?
We do. We have 2 ways, or 2 different types of seed. We have a 20-pound bag of bird seed, and then we have a small packet of like plantable seeds. Our bird seed is sold at Northwest Hardware locations, and then our packets are sold on our website and at the Bedford Welcome Center.
Okay. Now, I know, so you have the festival, but you were talking about also y'all were redoing the barn. Are y'all looking at having that ready for maybe future like other events or weddings? I know you were talking about maybe making it more of an event space.
Yes, we want to hold maybe like a Christmas festival vendor show. We want to have it available for 4-H and FFA groups. A lot of times they need like a larger facility to, hold all the kids. So we want to have it available at no charge for those groups to use. And then possibly weddings in the future. So we've got a little bit more work to do for that. But, like you mentioned, if you've been to the area, to the facility, the view sells itself. We're on top of the hill, and the view of the Blue Ridge Mountains and surrounding area is beautiful. So that kind of helps sell the venue.
I love the idea of using it for the FFA and 4-H, because I know I see people that are like I know in Bedford, our FFA, she's always talking about places that they can, show their animals or things like that. And so I know it's needed for these kids to be able to get out there. And, in our area, speaking about agriculture, I mean, it's big in Bedford County and Botetourt and those surrounding counties. I know we have a lot of kids that participate in FFA. And now you also go and speak to different organizations like that as well.
Yes, we started this year. Like our goal was, because we always want to educate, any type of agriculture that we can get in front of people and talk to them about agriculture into like agritourism, because our farm was founded in 1900. So we've got a big history in the agriculture field, but we started going to middle schools and high schools this year, speaking to the ag related classes. We hit 4 counties, 24 different classrooms, and right at 650 kids. So looking forward to doing that more for whoever else wants to hop on board and, hear me come speak.
Well, I think agritourism is important. And I've noticed lately, and maybe it's just me, but like it seems like everywhere I go, like places that had like all these trees and like they're just getting torn down for like. And I know the housing market it's needed. We need to build homes. We need to have more space. But I always sit there and go, oh my gosh, like that was such a beautiful just area, and now it's dirt. And it's getting ready, I'm getting ready to see. And that's one of the reasons, like my husband and I, we love where we live because, from where we are, we can just see the peaks. I don't have any really close neighbors. And my husband has always said, well, if they start trying to build out here, we're going somewhere else. Cause we love being out and just seeing that, the beauty of the land that we have.
Right.
But I think, a lot of people don't look at the tourism aspect of the beauty of our area. And that's one of the things I think sets Bedford County and Botetourt and even into like Franklin and around surrounding areas. We've got some beautiful walking trails. We've got beautiful parks, and keeping all of that up is important. And I think having festivals like yours, the Sunflower Festival, things like that actually bring attention to, me. I have Centerfest. That's great. But I think having the Sunflower, I think Vinton is getting ready to have their Dogwood Festival, like things like that actually bring attention to those sorts of things to the community is awesome.
Right. Definitely. And for us, it was all about, we had been in the dairy business for 92 years and my father had planted these sunflowers and we needed a way to diversify our income in order to keep the farm and the family. Or possibly, like you said, have to start selling parts of it off, for developers or whatever. So the festival has helped keep the farm for, myself and my kids and future generations. So
now, really quick before we end the show today, I wanted to talk a little bit about, everyone has been watching Ukraine and what's been going on over there. And trying to figure out what are some small ways we can help to support and be a part of, just showing them that we're here. And so you with the Sunflower Farm were able to help out with that movement. How did that all kind of come about?
So, that was probably the craziest day of my life, what you're talking about. So, sunflowers, is Ukraine's national flower, and they're the largest exporter of sunflowers as well. So immediately when everything started happening, we were like, gosh, well, we have this in common. It's just a flower, but that's what ties us together. So we said, well, let's give away some sunflower seed packets and we'll put them just around the county at stores. And we had like 150 limit. We put those out to certain stores. And by the next day, they were all gone. And the stores were like, people are coming in here to get the seeds and we don't have any more. I'm like, well, I'll give you a few more, so we upped it to 250. And then once again, they were all gone. And then people were getting aggravated that they couldn't get a free packet of seeds. And I was kind of like, well, I could give it away all day long. I mean, people will take and take. And so I was like, well, why don't we list them on our website and we'll give 30% of donations of sales to Ukraine. And so we had that going. All 3 local news stations picked up the story. And then I was giving one of my presentations, like you mentioned, at one of the centers, and it was over and we were getting ready to do a tour. And I looked at my phone and it said, this is Daniel from NBC Nightly News. I'm trying to reach you. Can you reach out to me? I'm like, somebody's done sent me this message about Daniel from New York. Like, who is playing a joke on me? This can't be real, And I couldn't respond, and I had to finish getting through this tour, and all I wanted to do was like go in the corner and open my phone and see what was going on. But surely enough, NBC had picked up the story from Channel 10, and they ended up putting our story in with a larger story that they were running on Ukraine. For all of the U.S. to see. And we got great coverage, and we ended up selling seed packets to 24 states. One of them was Alaska, which it was a teacher that said, she wanted to let her children plant the seeds.
Right.
And then they could watch them grow and support Ukraine. And so, yeah, it was a little bit surreal and, helped out Ukraine and was good exposure for us. And
I love how though that just came out of you just wanting to give first and foremost. And, there wasn't any underlying,
Right.
anything other than you just wanted to give back. And I think that is awesome to see. And I've seen it with a lot of our businesses in our area recently, just wanting to, whether it's Ukraine or others, I've seen a lot of people that are like, let's help out other. And I think that's the great thing about local, and I push local all the time. And I think it's because local businesses are more apt to do that. They want to help others succeed. And that's why I really push the importance of supporting our local businesses, give back to them so they can continue to do what they do. And so I just wanted to say, thank you for that, because I thought that was beautiful. I loved it when I saw the I was like, hey, I know her. I was like, I know that lady. So that was really cool.
Thank you.
Now, so the dates for the Sunflower Festival right now
should be September 9th. We'd kick it off with our VIP night on Friday and would end with Sunday, September 18th.
Speaking of your VIP night, I heard like people start lining up for that like hours before, correct?
We open at 4, and last year was our first year of doing it, but they started lining up at 2:30 because the first 100 people get a free goodie bag, and it has gift certificates and stuff to the vendors to shop with the vendors and just different items from around the county.
Yeah.
So they were all in line to get one of those.
I'm gonna come this year. I'm gonna be like Black
VIP.
Friday.
Yeah,
Yes,
right,
like Black Friday at the Sunflower Farm. I'm like, Candace, can you bring me some coffee? I'm out here. It's 8:00 in the morning. So anyway, well, thank you for coming on, both of you, with me today.
Thanks for having me.
And hopefully, if you've been listening today to Talk Local to Me, make sure that you're subscribing to learn more about the small businesses that we talk with in our area. But find out more about them. They all have their website or Facebook page. And then if you're in need of any of their services, or put the Sunflower Festival on your calendar to get out to this year and support your local businesses. We'll see you next Wednesday.